Hello, everyone. I am Krandall Brantley for Buckeyes Daily. We have some recruiting updates, but first off, help your boy out and hit subscribe. Now, according to Bucknuts, Ohio State has a major visit locked in with receiver target Maddox Davis, who returned to Columbus for the Michigan game on November 28th. Now, Davis is the number 25 overall prospect in the Rivals 300 and a consensus four-star receiver. So, four-star receiver, top 25 player nationally. 247 Sports has a top 45 national prospect and around number 5 or 6 receiver in the class. He's 5'10", 190, and is verified 4.42 40-yard dash. Plays for Cartersville High School in Georgia. Now he has strong Ohio State ties. His father is from Ohio and grew up a Buckeyes fan, and Ohio State officially offered Davis during his second visit to Columbus back in March, and the Buckeyes are considered one of the major contenders in his recruitment. Now, Davis had said Ohio State stands very high in his recruitment because of his reputation as wide receiver U and his success developing receivers for the NFL. Now, on the field, Davis he had 36 catches for 774 yards and 6 touchdowns as a sophomore, while also scoring 3 special teams touchdowns, return touchdowns. He describes himself as a versatile player who can line up inside or outside and make plays after the catch. He also received an Under Armour All-America game invitation and a Polynesian Bowl selection. So the Michigan game visit will be an important opportunity for Ohio State to strengthen what already appears to be a strong relationship with the top receivers in the 2028 class. Now, for this class, they already have number 1 receiver in Jet Harrison and number 1 quarterback Christopher Vargas. If you add a top 5 receiver to this class, it's going to be ridiculous. They already have number 1 class so far. It's early, but you keep adding these receivers to this class with already an elite quarterback, elite receiver, and you have Elijah Newman Hall running back. This could be a ridiculous class, y'all. So according to Bucknuts, Ohio State locked in a visit for top 10 running back Jay Mitchell, who will be in Columbus for the Oregon game on November 7th. Now, 247 Sports ranks Mitchell as a number 7 running back in the rankings overall nationally, number 125 overall prospect in the 2028 class. The 4-star prospect is 5'10", 180, and has more than 25 Division I offers. Now, Mitchell plays at William J. Brennan High School in San Antonio, Texas, and Ohio State offered him back in June after he impressed at the Buckeyes summer camp. Running backs coach Carlos Lachlan is actively pursuing Mitchell as a potential addition alongside current running back commit Elijah Newman Hall. Now, Mitchell is also planning visits to several other major programs, including Oregon, Texas A&M, Oklahoma, and Texas. So Ohio State will have plenty of competition. The Buckeyes are looking to potentially add another running back to this class, making this November visit particularly important. So with this, you have Maddox Davis, a top 5 receiver, will be in town for the Michigan game. Then Jay Mitchell, top running back, will be in town for the Oregon game. And so you have already this guy for wide receivers. You already had Jet Harrison. We're going to add another receiver. Definitely, it's going to be a top 5 receiver. That makes the class that much better and makes them look good. Already have Christopher Vargas already committed for the class at quarterback. Gives Ohio State an advantage there. Then for the running backs, didn't have running back commit for 2027 so far, but you could have 2 top 10 running backs for this class, 2 4-stars, and Jay Mitchell and Elijah Newman Hall. And so OSU is building a very good class. Right now, it's number 1 in the country for 2028. So number 1 class so far with 2028. But right now for this current team, they are the number 1 team in the AP poll. The AP poll for this season had just came out today. Well, yesterday when you're watching this, and OSU is the number 1 team in the AP poll, following being ranked number 1 in the coaches poll. They got 40 of the 69 first place votes. So number 1, Ohio State with 40 first place votes. Number 2, Oregon with 14 first place votes. Number 3 is Georgia with no first place votes. Number 4, Notre Dame with 6 first place votes. Number 5 is Texas, no first place votes. Indiana, number 6, with 8 first place votes. And then number 7, Miami, with 1 first place vote. So that's all the first place votes there. And round number top 10, Texas A&M at number 8, Ole Miss number 9, and Oklahoma at number 10. Notable rankings are outside the top 10. LSU 11, Texas Tech, the top ranked Big 12 team, at number 12. Alabama 13th, USC 14th, Michigan 16th, Washington 17th, Penn State 18, and Iowa number 22. And so this is the ninth time Ohio State has opened the season at number one. It's the first time this happened since 2015. The Buckeyes are tied with Alabama for the second most preseason number one rankings in the AP poll history, behind Oklahoma's number 10. That's an incredible stat considering Nick Saban era, how many times they're number one in that time period. So OSU is tying that mark is something that's a pretty incredible stat, but that does not guarantee a championship. There's plenty of hype for Ohio State. Here are some of the reasons. Julian Sam returns to quarterback after being the nation's most accurate passer last season. Then Jeremiah Smith, the best player in the country, returns, leading the country in receiving yards and receiving touchdowns over the last 2 seasons. Then Bo Jackson, a sophomore running back, had over 1,000 yards as a freshman. Even with eight starters needing to be replaced on defense, Ohio State has added 6 transfers either going to start or play major roles in that defense. And you have Matt Patricia back for year 2 in his defense. Now, the schedule is brutal. Been talked about all offseason. OSU won't have time to ease to their schedule. They play Texas September 12th, that's week 2. They later face Indiana on the road in October and Oregon at home, number 2 team in the AP poll, in early November. Now, 5 of Ohio State's 9 Big Ten games are against teams ranked in the preseason AP Top 25. So the 3 games against number 5 Texas, number 6 Indiana, number 2 Oregon are especially important. Ohio State doesn't need to win all those games. They have to win one of those games, then win out and avoid a bad loss elsewhere. That'll be critical for this schedule. So can Ohio State go wire to wire? So this is interesting history behind number one ranking. The AP poll for preseason began in 1950. Only 11 teams have started number one and finished the season number one. Last time it happened was Alabama in 2017. Only 2 teams have gone wire to wire at number one and won the championship, meaning they've number one the AP preseason poll, then number one at the season, the end of the year number one for the entire season. It happened 99 at Florida State and 04 USC. The only time it's been wire to wire was number one at the entire season. The Buckeyes will try to become the 3rd team to do just that. The Buckeyes finished number one in the AP poll 6 times: 1942, 1954, 1968, 2002, 2014, and 2024. For the Big Ten dominance, they've won the last 3 national championships. And now, another significant history here. Ohio State and Oregon, number one, number 2, giving the Big Ten the top 2 spots in the preseason poll for the second time ever, and the first time since 1961. The Big Ten also won the last 3 playoff championships, and Michigan, Ohio State, Indiana, with those 3 teams, they'll attempt to make it 4 straight in 2026. Meanwhile, the SEC leads all conferences with 9 teams in the top 25, including 5 in the top 10. The preseason poll not guaranteed anything. The Ohio State is number one in the coaches poll and AP poll in 2015 and not winning the championship. Didn't make the playoff, but it does establish the expectations. With saying Jeremiah Smith, Bo Jackson, and a loaded roster, Ohio State has the talent to win it all. But with Texas, Indiana, Oregon, USC, and Michigan all ranked, the path to another national championship is going to be extremely difficult. At number one in both major preseason polls, it's essentially national championship or bust in Columbus. According to SI.com, Ohio State's 2023 recruiting class is becoming a major part of the Buckeyes' current roster, both through players who develop into starters and contributors and through the three members of the class who have already reached the NFL. The class originally had 21 signees, ranked as a top four class nationally, and have 11 now. 11 of those players have departed. 11 players have departed from that class. That means 52% departure rate. But SI.com argues the reduction from the players who remained makes the class much more impressive than that number suggests. So key contributors from that class: Luke Montgomery, starting guard, is supposed to be NFL draft pick. He returned for his senior season. Austin Sareveld returned for his senior season. They're a starting guard or tackle, another potential NFL draft pick. Then Brandon Ennis, starting wide receiver last year, a potential NFL draft pick. He returned for his senior year. He'll be a draft pick next year. Then Jermaine Matthews Jr., starting cornerback, year two starter, and he'll be an NFL draft pick as well in 2027. Then Josh Padilla, offensive guard or center, currently battling for a starting job. Then Will Smith Jr., defensive lineman and contributor and competing for a starting role. And then Jason Moore, defensive lineman, competing for a starting position. So the class they've already produced three NFL players: Carnell Tate, 2026 top 10 pick by Tennessee Titans, and Arvell Reese, 2026 top 10 pick by the New York Giants, and Caden McDonald, second round pick by Houston. And so with that, you have this. SI.com also points out that the new 5 for 5 eligibility model could potentially give players like Will Smith Jr. and Jason Moore another season at Ohio State in 2027. Despite the high turnover, Ohio State's 2023 class has already produced significant value with multiple starters and 3 NFL draft picks, with the Buckeyes facing what Ryan Day has called a monster 2026 schedule. The remaining members of this class could play a major role in determining how successful this season is. So the returning players, especially on the O line, you have Ennis and then Jermaine Matthews. That plays one of the main reasons why Ohio State #1 in the AP poll, having that production back for this season. But you also have this at the AP poll. I think OSU they're #1 based off the returning production they have, but it's close. Oregon is damn good too. But with OSU having arguably the best O line, backbeat for the Joe Moore Award, and this gauntlet of talent: Julian Sand, Heisman finalist, returning; Jeremiah Smith, the best player in the country, arguably the best receiver OSU's ever had. He's back. Then can Bo Jackson make a leap to having like a Zeke type sophomore year? Could he make that leap as well? Can Matt Patricia form another top 5 defense or even better for this season? All one of the reasons why Ohio State is #1 in the AP poll. So AP poll brings excitement. I mean, it's close to football season, but also your team is #1 in the coaches poll and AP poll. The hype couldn't be higher for Ohio State this season, and it's not your bust for Ohio State. Let me know in the comments. Think OSU deserve to be #1 in the AP poll, and who you're excited to see on offense for this season. So that's a wrap. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to subscribe on YouTube and follow Buckeyes Daily on Spotify and Apple Podcast. All right, go Bucks.